What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Nightlines Live. My name is Mark. This is Catfishing Crappie. Looks like we got 24 people in the room already. That is freaking awesome. It's always happy to see each and every one of you guys in here. This is fantastic. We'll do a little rollout or call out, and then I'll introduce my guest for tonight, which you guys probably already know. All right, I see Avid Fisherman in the house. What's going on, Avid? How are you doing? If anybody doesn't know, Avid's been doing some cooking videos. Check him out. He did catfish and shrimp fry the other day. Brandon Cross, what's going on, Brandon? Brandon's been hitting the channel cats hard. He posted some pictures today. Way to go, Brandon. He got some bait. I actually saw him feeding his dog some shad. Poor dog. Mm-hmm. I told Mike, I told him to have his dog kiss Betty when she got home. He was kind of laughing at that comment. So, all right, Brandon, we got Buckeye Catfishing. Welcome back. We have Catfish Headhunters. Norm, what's going on, Norm? Norm is going live tomorrow with Stan the Man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That was announced on Chad's show last night. Let's see who's after that. We have Catfish Weekly. Catfish Weekly. What's going on, Lyle? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling fantastic tonight. I hope you're getting some sleep. I've been helping out on Catfish Weekly. It's been an honor and a privilege. I believe I'm going to be on again this Friday, and I want to take this second to thank him once again for giving me that opportunity. My God, I sound like a freaking DJ, but that's all right. We're trying to be professional here. Catfishing with Odad. What's going on, Catfishing with Odad? I think you were in here last week, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. Finn Secret TV, what's going on? Say hello to Dinks for us. It's always great to see you guys in chat. Fishing with Squirrel, one of the great supporters of all our streams. He's in all of them. I see him quite a bit. We have Fishing with the Chad. What can I say? Chad the Man. Chad's going to be going up against Roger from Muskrat Adventures tomorrow in the 1-versus-1 challenge, which starts 7 a.m. Central Standard Time on my channel. I look forward to emceeing that. I'd love to see each and every one of you there. I think it's going to be a good time. If you're friends with either of them or on their group pages, you'll see that Roger was out getting some really nice looking bait all day. So Chad, all I got to say is you better get moving and get some bait. Let's see who else we got here. Chad, got Fishing Hippie. What's going on, Fishing Hippie? I love that name, man. Welcome back. Fishing with Paula Smith. Hi, Paula. How are you? Paula's been posting pictures of fish all week. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know if there's ones you just caught, but I've been liking every single one of them that come my way. Hagen Grubbs Fishing. Hagen, what's going on? Honored to have you here. I appreciate it. Big fan for a long time. I imagine you heard about Creole. Creole had some family issues, so everybody's sending their love and their prayers towards Creole, and I'm sure you're doing the same thing. JP3 in the house. What's going on, JP3? We see him in all the things. Hopefully his hair. Did you see JP3's haircut when he was on Fishing with the Chad? Do you remember that? He actually shaved his hair like Chad. He shaved the whole top of his head and left like the whole bozo thing around his head. It was one of the better times in streaming history right there. One of the funnier times. Let's see. Justin's Fishing Fetish. Justin, what's going on, my friend? Hopefully you and Gabby are doing great. Kentucky Catman Outdoors Adventures, also known as Jim. How you doing, Jim? What's going on, buddy? Glad to see you at the show. Kentucky Big Cats and Bourbon. That's a mouthful, but that's another one of my favorite names. What's going on, Tim? Glad to see you. LG Bass. Tom, how are you, my friend? We have Little Buckets of Sunshine. Hello, Anna. I can't believe I'm remembering all this stuff. I've been around you guys. Well, never too much, but it's always good. We have Maurice Case and hello, Maurice. Maurice is everybody knows Maurice, man. Such a great supporter of all the streams. Michael Morello. I got it right today, man. I meant to message you and apologize for mispronouncing your name, but I swear I have a boss that has a name that's so close to yours, and I was chatting with him right before I got on. So please forgive me again. I'm doing it publicly here. Mike Irvin, what's going on, Mike? Missouri Creek Fishing, a great supporter of the show. Thank you for all your support, Robert. If you're not subscribed to his channel, please do so. You're a mod. Go ahead and post your link. If not, I'm sure you can find them, guys. Muskrat Adventures. We already talked Muskrat. Good luck to you tomorrow, both you and Chad, in the 1-versus-1 ton fishing club. You got to love the 1-ton crew. What is going on? Outside with the Hayes. What's going on, Hayes? Palmetto Cats. Hey, Kevin. What's up, buddy? How are you? I saw your video. Pretty good stuff. Let's see what else we got. It was Jello. What it was Jello? Was it Jello or Kool-Aid chicken? It was chicken versus shad. Pretty interesting results too. They were pretty close. Papa Ed, what's going on, Papa? How are you doing? Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing. Ryan's a new guy. Everybody, I think most of the people in the chat know Ryan, but if you don't, check out his channel. He's a kayak catfishing guy. He's tearing it up. Last tournament he was in, he took first place. Congratulations once again. Terador Arco, Al, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Uncle Josh from the One Ton Fishing Club. I'm going to scroll through here, see if I missed anybody or anybody snuck in while I was talking. James Dockery, what's going on, James? How you doing, my friend? I want to make sure I don't miss him. James Dockery of Angry Fishing fame, but those that know him know that, yeah, he can be pretty angry sometimes, so that's just James. All right, everybody, tonight's guest, Mike Greenwell. What's going on, Mike? How are you tonight?
Yeah, good.
Good. And now everybody calls you Bumpin' Mike Greenwell, or is that just your tournament name, or is that the name you go by online?
Honestly, Chad, fishing with the Chad, he put that in chat one night and it kind of stuck. So
you should hear the stuff that Chad calls me, but I'm not going to get into all of that stuff. Chad's a good guy, but he really knows how to make people or give people nicknames. All right, so tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from?
Evansville, Indiana, just really close to the Kentucky border.
Really close to the Kentucky border? Okay, excellent. And you've been down there your whole life, or?
Yep, I ain't never moved out. I've been here my whole life.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you ever fish north of there?
If we go anywhere north, we stay on the Ohio River.
You stay on the Ohio River. Okay. That was my next question. So basically you fish the Ohio River. And how long have you been chasing big cats on the Ohio River?
Well, this is only my 5th year chasing the big cats.
5th year chasing big cats? And once you start, it's hard to stop, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I know that feeling. Totally know that feeling. All right, so I know you do some tournament fishing and stuff. How'd you get involved in tournament fishing?
You know, I've always been a competitive guy my whole life. You know, I grew up playing baseball and all that stuff. And when I got older, I really couldn't get into softball. Really couldn't get into much anything like that. And I seen somebody post something about this catfishing tournament. And I said, man, I want to try one of them. First catfish tournament we went to, I caught a 15-pounder. I thought I was the man. That was my new personal best. I thought I was the man.
I can understand it. I know like the first big catfish I caught was literally only like 8 pounds. It was a channel cat. So it's a decent sized channel cat for up north here. They get bigger further north, but right around my parts, that's a decent one. And I remember that feeling once you get that fish that's, outside the norm, that you want more, right?
Yep.
I always want more.
Pretty funny story. We got the Evansville riverfront down here, and we had those spring rod holders. Put them down in the tar. Put your rod in that. And I didn't know nothing about no drag systems. I never fished until 5 years ago. Never fished at all. So we were sitting down there, me and my buddy, and that rod just slammed over. The line snapped, and that rod come popping back up. What the heck just happened? We had no clue. I've been chasing that fish ever since, and I think we caught him a couple months
ago. You learn to set the drag pretty quick when that happens, don't you? I've lost 2 Zebco 33s doing that stuff, and I'm sure it was just like a 10-pound or like a 5-pound channel or something. But once you lose that rod or that thing scares you the daylights out of you, gets you, kind of gets the blood pumping, you end up chasing that fish for the longest time. So I definitely know that feeling. So have you been fishing your whole life?
No, I just started fishing 5 years ago.
Really? And you're getting those monsters already, huh?
I put a lot of time in. A
lot of time. How often a week are you? Well, we had talked a little bit prior to this, and I know you're having some boat issues, which we'll get into in a little while. But if you're not having boat issues, how many times a week are you trying to get out?
I'm trying to go a couple nights after work, but definitely Friday nights, Saturday mornings, Saturday nights, and Sunday mornings I'm fishing.
So quite a bit. Last year I was doing like 3 nights a week. I was able to get out, which was pretty good. This year I haven't been able to, and I can tell by my fish count this year, but we're trying. I've been spending a little more time doing this, but those weeknight fishing trips are the best. They're a little quieter, less people out there, right? Water's a little calmer. I always found that when I'm fishing during the week, if you give it like a day, don't go out like on a Monday night, go out on like a Tuesday night, the fish kind of calm down from all that weekend traffic. At least up here they do. I think that makes a big difference. So, but that's just personal experience. I'm just agreeing with you on the weekend fishing. I saw Great Outdoors Exploring. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Mike Turner, 713 Catfishing. Stephen Corley, come in. I'm, is it Mexicat Fishing? What's going on? Just trying to get a couple of add-ins. The Wandering Fisherman, welcome. We got a lot of new people out here, guys. If you're not subscribed to Mike's channel, the link's in the description. You can go in there, right click or head there after the stream and make sure you give him a sub. We're trying to get him moving with more subscribers. He's got good content. If you like big fish, check out Mike's channel. So, all right. All right. So if you just started fishing later on in life, how long were you fishing before you started tournament fishing? Let me ask you that.
Not very long. Maybe 6 months.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
So how'd you learn so quick?
Just every chance I got, I took the boat, went out there, went fishing. Every chance I got, I was fishing with somebody else. Somebody that was willing to teach me something. Every chance I got, we was fishing.
So are you fishing with different people all the time, or do you or do you have a partner that you're out with all the time?
Well, this was a pretty bad year because my boat broke down and my regular partner, his boat broke down also. So we had a pretty tough year this year.
Did you do any bank fishing this year, or are you just waiting to fix the boats?
We just pretty much wait to fix the boats. We hop in whatever we can. So.
Very cool.
Somebody get a picture, and hopefully they'll have a picture of a big fish. Maybe they'll let you come along.
There you go. That would be cool. I'd like to. I haven't been down that ways in a while. I did some fishing like in central Indiana, but I've never fished the Ohio. I'm hoping to get out there one of these days. I got a big list. I did see D come in. D's listening in the car. Hello, D. I want to make sure I say hello to you. And Elston, what's going on, Elston? Chunky Cats Fishing in the house, 777 Outdoors. Hey, Mike, we're up to 46 people. We're rocking and rolling here, so that's pretty cool. It's good to see a bunch of new people in here. That's for sure. I'm just kind of looking through the chat, seeing if anybody has any questions. I'm trying to do better, folks, at not missing your questions when they come up in chat. Cool. All right, so what's your favorite part about what's your favorite kind of catfish to chase? I see you for catching a lot of blue cats, but that doesn't mean they're your favorite, so I figure I'd ask.
They are my favorite, the blue cats.
They are? You like them better than like flatheads and channel cats?
I don't anchor enough to really chase the flatheads. If I catch a flathead, drifting or dragging, or every now and then you catch one bumping, but that blue cat, he's my favorite. You'll
find him. So So how often do you come across a flathead while you're bumping or dragging? Is that happen quite a bit, or is that few and far between?
It's few and far between.
Few and far between. So I don't know. I know a couple of guys. I've seen videos where Dieter's done it, and a couple other guys have caught them while they're dragging baits. And for some reason, I think they just come across some structure where those fish are hiding down in there, and they like hit them on the head or something.
It's a little different when you're dragging or drifting. They seem to bite a little better. But when you're bumping, I guess they just don't like that current or something. I really don't know enough about them to say.
Yeah.
I've not caught one bumping in a long time.
Okay, so how much do you bump more than anything, or do you?
Yeah. If I go look for current.
Okay, and how much current are you looking for while you're bumping?
I at least want a mile and a half.
Mile and a half.
I can make that work. I can slow the boat down to 0.5, 0.6, and get a 2 ounce back there pretty far.
Oh, man, I wish we had that kind of current here. I'd be so all over that bump, and we barely have any. I mean, there's times in the fall where I can't even get a drift sock to fill up. So, pretty cool. Okay, and on the Ohio River, I'm trying to get an idea. The Ohio River is pretty big from what I'm used to. So I guess how long of runs are you drifting when you are drifting?
Well, that really depends on when we find. If we're out looking for fish, I'll go 2-3 miles.
Okay.
But if we find the fish and they're in a 100-yard area, we'll focus on that 100-yard area.
Okay. I've dragged baits, but I've never been on bodies of water that were big enough or that weren't not busy enough to drift on. So I haven't had a chance to do it. So I'm just trying to get an idea for my own sake of how it's done. Now, do you use your trolling motor control like direction and your rate of drift besides just drift socks and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
So what do you do? Just point into the wind? How do you go about drifting?
It depends on how. If we don't have very much current at all, I'll turn the trolling motor and have the trolling motor pull in the boat
Okay.
to create my own current, pretty much.
Current. So I call that that's how I drag, I guess. So it'd be pretty much the same thing, right? You'd be dragging that, or are you suspended when you're drifting?
I'm always suspended. I'm not
Always.
much of a I'm not much of a dragger.
Gotcha. All right. See how little I know about the difference between dragging and drifting. So I'll drag baits on the bottom. I don't drift much just because the waters I'm in aren't I don't think they're deep enough to to actually do much suspended. I mean, I suspend every now and then if I'm crappie fishing, I'll suspend a bait off the side of my boat on an ice rod and get like a 10-pound channel cat on an ice rod. That's always fun. But outside of that, I have zero experience at drifting. So and you guys in the chat will have to forgive me for not knowing that. Kind of looking to see if I have any other questions.
I can let you ones I'd like to answer if that's all right.
I'm sorry?
I see a question I'd like to answer.
Sure. Which way was that from Little Buckets of Sunshine?
Yes.
I just saw that one.
Yes, I was actually up at the Newburgh Dam trying to catch skipjack, and I hooked into a sturgeon. And when I pulled him all the way up, I had to run and grab a net. He had been chopped off by either a boat prop or something. There was only about half of him there, and he was still living and swimming.
So it
It was
must
a
have been
lot.
recent. That must have been recent since it happened to him, or were the cuts kind of healed over?
That was pretty fresh.
They were fresh. Okay. And how
I
big
mean,
was the half that you found?
it was probably about 15 inches. I got
And this is
I do have a video on that if anybody's curious.
yeah, check out his channel, check out the video. I know I'm gonna have to check that out. My buddy Jonathan's been doing a lot of sturgeon fishing and a lot of the guys that fish out here, so definitely has piqued my interest. I know James Dockery has caught I think it was shovel nose sturgeon out by him a little bit, but they're not as big as some of the big ones here. And obviously, if that was half one, that was a decent sized sturgeon too. So I'm guessing Anna saw your video. Good question, Anna. Thank you very much. Let's see if we got anything else here. So what'd you end up doing with the sturgeon? Just putting it back?
Yeah, he was having a little trouble, so I scooped him back out, and when I put him back in, I kind of threw him head first in, and he went down and never came back up. So
hopefully, if he didn't make it, that all gets recycled. LG Bass and Stan in the house. I want to make sure I said hello to them. And you snagged him with circle hook?
No, he was bait fishing, so I got him on a jig.
On a jig. And what's your bait of choice where you're at?
I like skipjack and shad.
Is there a lot of skipjack where you fish?
There is.
Yeah. How far are you from Louisville, where you fish?
About an hour and a half from Louisville.
Oh, so you're still a ways away. All right. See some stuff. So let's talk a little bit about your YouTube channel. How long have you been doing it for?
I got serious about it last year, beginning of last year. I've had it for a couple years, but I really got serious about it last year and just started taking a GoPro out and trying to record. I really just wanted to get takedowns. That was the main thing. Just get some takedowns and have stuff to save and have it for memories. And then I was like, man, I can post this and other people enjoy it too, so I might as well.
So do you run a GoPro the whole time you're out there trying to get those takedowns?
Yes, I do.
That makes it hard to edit, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. I was watching, I think it was Jeff Manning on Catfish Weekly a little while back, kind of recent, and he was talking about the loop function on the GoPros. I don't know if anybody in chat has used it or if you have, but I'm definitely trying to do it. But I'm always worried that I'm going to miss something if I'm playing with new features, so I kind of stay with what I know. But hopefully over winter we'll get some.
I was watching somebody's video and I heard them say GoPro on, so I want to look into that. We're gonna get me one.
No, I've tried it. Don't wait. I tried it. Don't waste your time. Yeah, it's kind of rough. You end up. It doesn't always start. So, but that's a cool feature. I usually run my chesty. I have the quick on feature where you just hit the record button. It'll turn on and it'll do that. I use external power sources and stuff that kind of helps. So.
Yeah, I use the external. I keep it plugged in, and I run a 64 gig cards, so
Mhm.
they last about 4 hours.
You get 4 hours out of them? Okay. When I'm doing at 1080p at 30 frames per second, I will get out of a 128 gig card, I get just over 5 hours, which isn't too bad. If I've tried 4K, but that pretty much brought my computer to my knees, so I'm not going to mess with that at all. But that kind of cuts it in half almost. At least that's what I found out. You fished it all this weekend?
Not yet. We are going in the morning.
Oh, you are going in the morning. Okay. And where are you headed and who are you going with?
I'm actually riding solo. I'm going. My buddy's going to let me borrow his boat since mine's down, and I'm gonna hop in and go down to Evansville Riverfront and go look for some shad and fish a few anchor spots I ain't fished all year.
So you're going to anchor up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. The water's getting pretty cool. It's getting a little cool to bump. So
Yeah. How when you're drifting, dragging, or bumping, when the water gets, well, what kind of temperatures are the water where you're at?
well, I haven't been out. Last weekend they was about 53. I'm guessing they're going to be in the 40s. They'll probably be about 48, 47,
Yeah,
48.
we were at 42 degrees. I went up north about 2 hours, and the water was 42 degrees, and they were still biting, but they were slow. I wouldn't have dragged for them, that's for sure. I was talking with John, who I went with, and he was saying that the bite's kind of too slow. So I guess anchoring is the way to go when it's this cold, which is cool. So I wish you luck tomorrow. Tomorrow, real quick, I'm not going fishing. I'm going to watch Chad fish up against Muskrat Advent. Chad and Roger going up. It's Fishing with the Chad versus Muskrat Adventures. It ought to be an interesting day. A lot of fun. 7 a.m. Central Standard Time on my channel. If you haven't heard me push this before, you heard me now, and I will push it again. Captain Stalkers Outdoors, Captain Greg Olivia. There's a man who knows his Navionics software. I've been meaning to message him. I have some electronics questions, but are you familiar with Captain Greg?
Me and Greg and his son, we actually got 12th place in Monsters on the Ohio in 2017.
Fantastic. Greg's a good guy. I watch a lot of his videos and stuff. I like watching him and his son. I first saw him talking on Catfish Weekly, so I've been enjoying his stuff ever since. Justin doesn't want to get up that early. Thanks, Justin. You should go fishing. Get up that early and go fishing. Let's see. Justin Ward, welcome. He says he does a lot of scouting when the water's this cold. What's your average time? What's your average time on the water, Al? Tirador Arco, I call him Al, wants to know what's your average time on the water.
If I'm going to launch the boat, I'm going to be out there for at least 8 hours.
8 hours? I kind of do that too. I have like two rules of thumb. If I'm out there for 6 hours, if I'm out there for 6 hours, let's say crappie fishing, and I'm bringing fish home, I'll clean them. If I'm out for 8 hours, they wait till the next day. So after 8 hours, I'm kind of done. That's just how I do it.
If I'm going bait fishing, I won't take any catfish rods. Because if I go bait fishing, I'm going to be out there for a couple hours. If I take a catfish rod, I'm going to be out there for 8, 9 hours.
I mean, if you got bait, you got bait. So outdoor addiction in the house. I'm the same way. I take people fishing and they'll last, let's say, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours and they're done. I mean, they get that last 3 hours of fishing, they get pretty miserable. So I kind of judge it from there and see. And I got a couple friends I've taken fishing and I tell them, meet me at the ramp, bring your car. I'll drop them off at the ramp and go back out there. 8 hours is a good thing. Jason Blackburn, J-Dog, what's going on? Mo's Homesteading, what's going on? Tanya, how are you? Thanks for checking it out. I'm trying to keep up with all of these people that are coming in here. Mike, we're at 55 people in chat. I hate missing anybody because they're all pretty important to me. So what are your plans for the winter as far as fishing goes and working on your channel or anything like that?
Pretty much, I want to get out there and I really want to force myself to find some good anchor spots. I need to start anchoring a little more. I know they call me Bumping Mike, but I really need to start anchoring more. I haven't caught a flathead in a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'd like to take the flathead.
Anchored up.
I got to get better at editing, and I got to get better with me being more educational when I'm out there doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forget that not everybody knows what's going on.
Absolutely, I'm guilty of that too. I'll talk to a neighbor or somebody who's not really, I don't want to. Someone who's not crazy like me about fishing, and the civilian people I talk to, and I'll get talking like I'm talking to you or somebody here in chat, and I need to remember to slow down. So it looks like Anna loves bait fishing too. I like bait fishing, and I saw her bait fishing on Palmetto's boat, on Kevin's boat quite a bit. Hello, DMV Whisker King. What's going on? So do you travel to fish at all besides the Ohio?
I've been to Alabama one time, but I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable with the Ohio River. I do pretty good on the Ohio River, so I know they got big fish down there, but I don't know. I kind of like to say that I catch my fish out of the Ohio River with all the stuff that goes on and everything else. It can be a tough fisher. I think it's getting better. But
yeah, you're fishing on a part that's less regulated, right?
Just upriver up from us is, but downriver there's still 1/35 for everything.
Oh, I got a message coming through here. Chad sending me a message. He's causing trouble. I thought I saw a question over here. Chunky anchors is wagging. Okay. All right. So
I seen one question from outside the haze. He asked what combos I use. All bait casters.
All bait casters. What's your reel of choice?
Abu Garcia.
You're an Abu guy. Use the 6500s, or do you run the 7000s?
I'm the 6000s, the 6600s. I like the thumb bars, 5600s.
Mm-hmm. You mean the release, right, for the casting bar, right? Yeah. Well, for dragging that makes sense. So.
Yeah, the thumb bars there.
Gotcha. Very cool. You ever try any of those low profile reels they're coming out with, or you got any thoughts about any of those?
My buddy had one, and I used it a couple times, and I mean it's a dang good reel. I just can't get used to it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what kind of rods are you running?
I'm a TWC guy for dragging, the little dragging that I do, drifting and anchoring, and I'm a B&M for bumping rods.
And which bumping rod do you run for B&M, or do they just have the one?
Oh, they got like 3 generations now. I still got the second generation. It's
the second generation. Now, are those pretty much all graphite rods, the bumping rods that people sell?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you need that sensitivity, I imagine. All right, so now you running mono or braid?
Oh, I'm a braid guy through and through. I love all my braids. I do run my mono leaders, but I'm a braid guy.
Yeah, what kind of braid are you running?
I actually run this stuff from Academy called ProCat.
ProCat?
50 pound. I've been running that stuff for 3 years now, and it's been great for me.
How often are you switching it out? Your braid lines, how often do you? How often?
2 years.
2 years, yeah. I try to squeeze. Well, depending on the combo that I'm doing it on and how much I've used it that year, I usually get almost 3 years out of them. I'm usually switching them halfway out during the third year, but I can kind of tell when they're wearing out, so that's cool. So that Academy, if I'm not mistaken, it's not as expensive as some of them, right? It's one of the more economical braids to get.
Yes, it's a cheaper brand. Yes.
Yeah. And what's the rod limit down there?
Well, even it's very weird. If we're doing any Indiana inlets or a certain part of Indiana on the river, it's a 3 rod limit. But if you buy a Kentucky license, it's no limit. So we always just buy a Kentucky license also.
Okay, so you just got to have them both. Okay, I was curious how those border waters work usually. It's always good to know. Didn't Steve Douglas have an issue where he was fishing somewhere where he got like a state record fish, but because he didn't have that state's license, they didn't count it a while back? I think Paula would know that. That would break my heart, you know. If I got that state record and they wouldn't count it, man, that would be horrible. Betty's in the house. I want to make sure I always say hello to Miss Betty. How are you, Betty? Hopefully you're getting a little rest tonight. It's good to see you in chat. So tell me a little bit about your boat. I know you're saying it's not working at the time. You're having some issues with it, but when it's running, what do you usually running on the boat? What is the boat you are running?
It's a 1991 Hydro Sport, 17.5 foot. It's got a 120 horsepower, 1991 Evinrude.
Mm-hmm.
It runs pretty much. It does everything I need to do when it's running.
Well, everything breaks. You know, the boat's what are you looking at? 29 years old, right? I started breaking when I turned 29 years old too. I don't care what anybody says.
It just sucks this year. Everything seems to be happening this year. I just got the motor run. Took it out this past Saturday. The steering cables and the steering housing broke on me.
Ouch. So your buddies, when you guys caught that big, huge blue cat at that last tournament, that was your buddy's boat. You were telling me, right?
Yes.
And what's your friend's name that you fish with in the tournament?
Jacob McFarland.
Jacob McFarland. And what kind of boat was that?
You know, I really don't even remember what it is.
I remember.
It's a deep V also. I can't remember the name brand of it.
Man, you were stacking the fish up in that live well, man. How big is the live well in that thing, or did you guys add that to it?
Oh yeah, he actually built that live well in there.
Yeah.
He took out some of the front stuff, and he actually built that thing up front.
Yeah, and you got a big live well in yours too, right?
Yeah, I've actually got that toolbox live well.
A toolbox, and how many gallons are you running in that? And
I think it's right around 70 or so.
70 gallons. See, I always wondered about that. You know, we have some smaller tournaments out here, and I'm always kind of worried about having that much weight on the front of my little boat and stuff. But a lot of guys seem to do it, and they're able to get away with it. So let's talk about that. I'm sorry, was it 92 pounds, Mike?
Yes.
It was 92. I keep wanting to give you an extra 2 pounds and call it a 94. If you want to call it a 94 pound, I'm good with it. But the 92 pound blue. Tell me a little bit about that day. How that day? I know we can see it on YouTube, but I'd like to hear it from you. Tell me a little bit about how that day went and how it turned out and what happened during the day.
You know, we started that tournament. We knew where we wanted to go. We fished that area a couple years before that. And we drifted it that day, but the tournament day, we was actually going to go bump it. And we started up close to the dam, and then we was working all the way down past the dam, and we found the fish. That's my favorite saying is hundreds of miles of river, but the fish are in 100 yards. And that day it came true. We made one pass, and he caught a 27. Made another pass, we caught a 30. Made another pass, we caught a 43. And at one point, we had a drifted rod out. He caught a 23-pound flathead. And then that last pass is when he nailed that 92. And when you're bumping, you feel that rod get tapped, and then the rod will always go down. And it's a habit. You kind of jerk back to see what you got. When he jerked back, you know, everything moved but the rod. He was like, oh, no, this is huge.
Like hooking into a snag or something, huh? I can't even fathom what hooking into a fish in current like that would be. Even not in current would be like. I bet you until it started moving or peeling drag, I would think I was snagged. I don't know, man. At
first, when I started just reeling up all the other rods and it went around the boat, that's when we knew. Like, oh crap, that is a fish, you know. And that's not just a fish. That's a big fish.
That's crazy how they go around there. That's one of the coolest things that I've come across is when a fish will pick up your bait. Flatheads will do that up here sometimes. They'll pick up your bait and start heading back into a log jam with them. That's pretty cool. I've seen a bait literally go like 35 feet, or line go 35 feet across the water right behind me before I realized that's got to be a fish, man. That freaked me out. I can only imagine if you're hooked into one and he's going all making circles around your boat. I might even pay to see that in person. That would be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, he had one rod that he got tangled in before I could get it reeled up. And so I just kept reaching over and just thumb releasing it. Every time he would peel drag, that rod would hammer down. So I just reached over and just put it in release and just let it go. Man, that was just crazy. When that fish hit the surface, I mean, we couldn't help but to get excited because that thing was a monster.
I watched that video a while back, and I remember you guys doing the Ric Flair once you got the thing on the deck. I remember that right away, man. I remember watching that, and I remember going, "That's exactly what I would have done right there."
And it was crazy because I mean that fish was 92 pounds, but I yanked him out of the water like he was 40 or 50. I would have put him on the boat right away.
And how'd you get that thing? I don't recall. Like, it's been a while since I watched the video. How'd you guys get that thing into your live well? Did it fit no problem, or was there problems with that?
We fit in there pretty well. We actually, when we cut the video off, we had to go back and remove 2 fish to make him fit better. We had I think we had 6 fish in a live well. 3 of them were overs. We had a flathead and 2 blues that were over. And so we had to go in and release 2 of those fish so he could fit right and be comfortable.
No. What was the over and under for that tournament?
1 over 35 per species from the flathead and the blue.
Okay. All right, that's how it's done. So
if you got lucky, you get a 1 over 28 channel cat.
Okay. So yeah, I can imagine. Well, yeah, holding on to them would probably be a good thing to do. But you still did pretty good, even get rid of those 2 fish, right?
Yeah,
you guys won.
We only weighed 4 fish for 163 pounds.
How many pounds?
163.
That's crazy. That's a lot of fish.
We weighed in at 92, a 43, a 23-pound flathead, and whatever. It was amazing.
So did you watch everybody's hearts just shatter when you weighed those in, or what?
Well, actually, we went ahead and weighed in. We're big on the conservation part of it, and we didn't want to keep that. We didn't want to keep that monster out of the river for that long. So we went ahead and took him up to weigh him early. Very
cool. Katie Collins is in here. How you doing, Katie? Welcome. She's always in here. She's a great supporter of the show too. So I can't fathom a fish that big or having to keep that fish alive for that long. That's got to be stressful. It's got to be exciting and stressful at the same time, right?
Very much so. Very much so.
I just got some questions. I just got some questions and message. I think you asked. Justin wanted to know again what rods you're using for bumping, and it was the B&M, right? Is there a specific name to the series on those?
I just call them the Gen 2 B&M bumping rod.
The Gen 2 B&M bumping rods. There you go, Justin. If you're still looking,
it actually says Pro Staff on it. I don't believe that means anything, but that's kind of what they just did with Gen 2.
Very cool. River Rat Catfishing, welcome. Cool. So when you're setting up, what's a bump and rig look like? How is it different than like the normal Carolina rigs that I use?
I actually have one here tied up. Use the 3-way swivel, the double barrel swivel inside of itself. I'm trying to figure this out here.
Okay.
On the downside of it, you have your sinker leader. You always want it to be about half of your other leader, and coming on the outside of it, I go about 18 inches down to a ball chain swivel.
Perfect. And you never have any problems with those?
Then another 18 inches down to the hook snailed. But no, I've never had any issues with that.
With the barrel swivel, yeah. You know when they first start. Well, I know they've been out for a while, but the first time I saw them in a lot of forums and stuff, a lot of guys were kind of worried about it. And I remember somebody doing a video where they hooked it up to a boat trailer and tested it out. It might even have been Hagen. I don't recall. But I saw that video a long time and I was kind of sold. What I do is I'll buy them and I'll use a trick that I learned from a seminar I watched of Doc Lang's. Everybody knows Doc Lang, where he attaches them to the bottom of the dragons, the floats, and he'll put a second hook on there for channel cats. So I've been doing that over the summer with some definite good results. So he wouldn't steer you wrong. What kind of weights do you need to run when you're bumping in 1.5 mile plus current?
I try to get down to as low as I can, but most of the time you're using 2 ounces a mile and a half.
Okay. Do you think catfishing tournaments will ever go to measure and weight without holding in live well? I guess Jason wants to know, do you think they'll go to a more what would be logical? Doesn't necessarily mean it's scientifically proven or anything, but it makes sense to weigh the fish and get it back, or measure the fish and get it back as soon as possible. You think they are making any efforts, or they will make any efforts to go into that kind of tournament?
I don't think so. Not with all these big boat companies making these huge live wells for these catfishing boats. I don't think they'll ever do that.
And it says in tournaments, do they release all their fish at the weigh-ins?
Yes.
They do. Now, do they release all those on Ohio in the same pool, or do they ask you to take them back where you got them?
No, that's whatever ramp of the weigh-in is out of. That's where you release your fish at.
Okay, when you're, see that, like I said, I'm on a small river. The boundaries of the tournaments usually across like up to 3 spillways. So you're gonna, they want the guys to return the fish back to the pool. So that's kind of rough on the fish, I'd imagine. So
we're getting to where we're getting so many tournaments in each one of our pools that I really don't think that matters here anymore.
yeah.
If we have a tournament in Owensboro and guys come in and lock back through, we'll have another one down here and they'll go lock up bring the fish back. So
Justin had a statement, but maybe you can help him out. He says he wants to get a bumping rod, but he doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on it since he doesn't do it so much. What do you recommend somebody like Justin does in that situation?
and these B&M bumping rods are about $75, so you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, could you do it with a rod that you already had at home, or is that something that you really need a specialized rod for?
When I first started out, I was doing it with a medium catfishing rod, a different brand, and you could feel the bottom. And I kept, everybody kept saying, Mike, you need to get a bumper rod. Mike, you need to get a bumper rod. I blew them off. I blew them off. I finally got the bumping rod, and you can tell a huge difference.
You can, I have some graphite rods, not for catfishing, but for other types of fishing, and I totally understand what you're talking about. I've used a graphite rod flathead fishing, a friend of mine's, and it is a lot more sensitive. I'm running circle hooks now. When if I'm running J hooks, which I haven't in a while, I would definitely think they would be beneficial, or graphite would be beneficial with J hooks, because you're setting a hook. Because I remember, you'll get that bait clicker quick zip when they do the inhale, and if you pick that rod up with a graphite rod, I found you can feel their gills opening and closing through the line with braid and stuff. So that's how I was always knowing when to set the hook. But only reason why I bring that up is because I can understand the sensitivity issue that you're looking for, just even trying to touch bottom. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking for some more questions here.
Well, there's times that if I know fish are there and they're not biting on the drift, I'll anchor or spot lock the boat, and I'll just bump that bait back to the fish from a spot lock, from a station boat. And sometimes I'll get the bait, 200 yards out there, and you can still feel that.
Very cool. Yeah. So for the people that don't know, when you're bumping, you're actually moving with the current, right? You're technically drifting from wherever the current source is, right? Cutting the speed back with your trolling motor and drifting and bumping that way, right?
My rule of thumb on the Ohio River is to cut the current speed in half.
Okay.
And then put whatever sinker I need to hold by.
Let me ask you a silly question. How do you know how fast the current's moving?
The GPS on your either your trolling motor or your depth finder.
Oh, so you actually like drift? You drift a section, judge what the speed is, and figure it out from there.
I'll pull up, put the motor in neutral, and let it run back 100 yards or so, see what's going on. Then I'll pull back up, and then start the actual bump drift.
Cool. I didn't even wonder about that until now. I'm kind of glad I asked that. So All right. Catfish Headhunters. Norm wants to know, what was that 92-pound cat caught on? Shad or skipjack?
He was on a big old skipjack here.
I bet you
Big
Norm
old.
would like a big piece. So you're fishing whole ones or using whole ones?
I actually caught some 18-inch skipjacks the day before, so their heads were that big. They were some big old pieces of bait that I caught.
Do you just leave them whole, or do you kind of, what's the word? Do you slice them open and get some scent out, trim the tail off of them, or
Keep them all up.
you just do what? I'm sorry.
I do cut them up.
You do cut them up? Okay, good. Let that scent out. That's good to know. Man, I've seen a skipjack like twice in my life. That's it. So I have lots of questions about skipjack. So I'll make sure I'm not missing any more questions here. Very cool. Avid's in the house. We said hello to Avid. So when's down there, southern Indiana on the Ohio River, when's catfishing start back up in the full swing? I know you fish the winter months and stuff, but when's the spring, summer season start? You looking for water temperatures, air temp? What are you looking for?
Mainly in around March, when everything starts getting at least 40 degrees on the water. Everybody starts to tournament trails. But we do have one in January on the Green River in Kentucky. That's going to be fun.
Cool. The Green River. No, I'm thinking of Duck River. That's something else. I'm sorry. Green River is a Clarence Clearwater Revival song, right?
I'm sorry?
Very cool. It's a CCR song. That's where it comes to mind. So that's how my mind wanders. So what's your favorite time of the year to fish?
I would have to say summer, just so I could be out there at nighttime. I love night fishing.
All right, just checking for questions and stuff. Very cool, Mike. So, have any big plans for the channel? What are your goals? Where are you taking it?
Yeah, I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers. I really would. But I mean, if it don't happen, it don't happen. But I don't put enough into it. I really don't. I need to. That's going to be my goal for 2021. Really, to try to make it a better channel.
And let's see if we'll get you some subs here. If you're not subscribed to Mike Greenwell's channel, once again, the link's in the description. Please go and subscribe, help him out. Check out his channel. Something that everybody needs to know: once you subscribe to a channel, do the creator a favor and at least watch one or two of his videos. I'm learning, and I'm starting to think that if you're just giving him the sub, that sometimes YouTube will consider you not a real account, so you want to go ahead and at least watch some of their videos, at least give them that little bit of attention. I'm sure it'd be greatly appreciated. We're at 52 in chat here, Mike. We're doing pretty good. Has anybody got any additional questions in chat for Mike? I'm sure he's got answers for a lot of questions. So Norm says that 92-pound blue should have gotten you that 1K subs, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know. That video didn't even hardly get 1.5 views. I don't know what the problem was.
It's odd. I had a video that started out really, really well, and it's like somebody just turned the switch off. So, I mean, that'll happen. I think it has to do with body of work, how long you've been at it, how the work relates to the rest of the work on your page. And I'm thinking that yours is pretty much in line there. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll all figure it out someday and help each other to do so.
I know it was about 2 weeks after we caught that 92. I was in myself, and I put another nice fish in the boat. And I did try to do some explaining, so that's a pretty good video.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you using end cards and all that good stuff after your videos?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, you might want to start doing that. I noticed that helped me a lot too. So if you're a creator out there, use those end cards. Those end cards are a big help to you. People see, if the people make it to the end of your video, you kind of got them. Give them something else to watch. You'll be happy you did. We got Glick's Fishing Adventures in the house. There's another new name in here. Thanks for checking out the channel. Mike Greenwell, everybody. Do we have any questions? Let's see. Thank you for sharing links, D. D is awesome. River Rat Catfishing. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Glance. It says, what hooks do you use, Mike?
I'm a Gamakatsu hook guy.
And those are circles. You use the octopus ones or just the circle hooks?
The octopus circles.
The octopus ones, and they're the ones with the bent eye, right? The bent shaft?
Yeah. Yes.
Very cool.
And
You ever use chicken breast?
Do I use chicken breast?
Yep.
No, I do not.
No, neither do I. I just got to ask everybody that comes on the channel. I think I'm going to make that my thing. So I just saw Kevin put that. And then Paula didn't like that either. I like the gamma hooks too. My favorite hooks, I've been through a lot of them. I'm not going to name the ones that I'm not using, but I do like the Gamakatsus and I do like the mustads. I wish the mustads were offset. The Demon Circle ones, they're offset a little bit, not as much as I like. And I hate bending a tempered hook. If I can do it like with the bigger hooks, I can do it barehanded rather than using a pair of pliers or something. I don't like to nick them. Try not to bend them too much. But those hooks do best for me in my situations. And you know what else I'm learning, Mike, is mono. I know guys who use double action hooks from whatever company, and they have no problem with using those hooks with mono, but I have all sorts of problems using them with braid. I don't know how they coincide with one another. I want to do a little experimenting this summer and see how that works, but the Gamakatsus, like you're saying, that's definitely a good hook choice. Let's see. We got more chicken talk going on. Once they start talking about chicken, they never stop. Norm likes the Eagle Claw sea circle hooks. I've seen him catch a big fish with that, so that's not bad. I won't put that up. All right. So, who are some of your favorite YouTubers?
Well, everybody. I think everybody started out with Steve Douglas.
Steve Douglas is the man.
And then you have Luke Nichols. All his channels are great.
Yeah, both of them. He does really well for himself, so it's a good person to watch. His videos are entertaining, man. I hardly ever find myself not watching them to the end. So that's a good sign. Same with the Steve Douglas and Chris Flores videos. Hagen Grubbs, those are videos that I watch to the end all the time.
Yeah, I like watching Hagen too.
Absolutely. Catfishing with old Ed's tried pork tenderloin for bait. When I was a kid, we used to have everything from like hot dogs to Polish sausage, and we'd catch a lot of little look at what Chunky put down here. That's what I'm laughing at. We'd catch a lot of stuff off of everything, but they're all all small channel catch. Chunky, you're gonna have to teach me how to do that. Just kidding. You guys can talk about chicken all you want.
And Ryan's wanting to know about booping from a kayak. That would be a blast.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, you might have to anchor up, but if you're in 1.5 miles of current, how do you cut that current down in half from a kayak? That's the problem.
Some of them have trolling motors on them.
Trolling motors, yeah. I don't think Ryan does, but I'm sure if he gets a chance to do that, he might do that.
And that would be a blast. I couldn't imagine hooking onto a big fish in a kayak. I couldn't imagine.
I've gotten like 20, 30 pound flatheads off a kayak, and those ones are even fun, man. They'll pull you all over the place. I've seen a buddy of mine catch a 46 pounder out of kayak, and I kid you not, the guy, I don't think he's in here. He's a short guy, little guy, younger kid. It pulled him like halfway across that river and back. He had to get out of his kayak just to get enough traction to get that fish out of the water. But that was fun as heck. Got people calling people out. So tomorrow, if you're around and actually you've heard about the call out. What give us your opinion on who you think is going to win.
No disrespect to my buddy Chad, but I think Roger's going to put that whooping on him.
You think Roger's going to put the whooping on him, huh? Poor Chad's getting a beat down. I'm kind of an underdog guy. I think Roger's a heck of an angler, but man, you never know. You might get a surprise. If he can find bait, if he gets out there. If he had D with him, the odds would be definitely, a little closer to one another. But unfortunately, D has to work. Oh, look at this. Ryan says an Ultrex is on its way. Way to go.
Oh, go, buddy.
And Chunky's talking about blocking hot dogs, wieners, and liver. So what else you got going on? All right. As far as the channel, you want to get to 1,000 subscribers. What are you using to edit videos? How long does it take you to edit a video? How do you go about doing them?
I've been using my Samsung phone to do my edit. I just take the SD card out of the GoPro and put it in it. And it depends on how long the video is. It can take me up to 3 days to edit a video.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at like 2 days. I'll do 1 day of editing, and then the next day is pretty much like research and thumbnail and stuff like that.
The one thing about the phone, it drops every folder into 17 minutes and 43 seconds, so you can scrub past that pretty quickly and find the good spots.
Fishing with the Chat says Bumpin' Mike is in the wrong list now. What's that about? I'm missing something.
Go out there and prove us wrong tomorrow, buddy.
I'm all for it. Hey, Flint Hill's in the house. What's going on, Flint? How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Stephen Corley. Hello, man. What's going on? Dockery's here saying hello. So when are you planning to have your next video out?
Well, if tomorrow goes well, it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right, so you're basically put them out as you get them, right? You're not on any schedule or anything?
Back in early or last year when I was at my peak with my channel, I was 2 and 3 weeks ahead. But with the boat going down and everything, that hurt me really bad.
Yeah, you got to catch those fish to have a fishing video, right? Do you say that too? Every time I catch a fish on video, if I don't say it, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, all right, we got a fishing video. Way to go. Good stuff. I want to make sure I got everybody. Flint Hill came in. We're doing good. We are doing really good today, Mike. Let's see what's going on. 55 people in chat. Chat's rolling. See if we have any other questions. Good deal. Rex Blocker in the house. I'm not sure if I said hello, Rex. I want to make sure I say hello to him. All right, so you watch Steve Douglas. Who else do you watch? Were you saying you watch Luke Nichols over at Catfishing? You ever do any carp fishing, or do you ever fish for anything besides catfish? I guess is a good question.
Just bait.
Just bait? One of them diehards. I like that. Would you use a bass for bait? There's a question. There's a loaded question for you.
I probably would not.
I might. Lyle says Mike and I need to get together and make a bumping video this year coming up. I think that would be a blast.
Lyle, you say when, and let's make it happen.
There you go. I really would like to fish with Lyle someday. I'm looking forward to getting that opportunity. Hagen Groves. All right, Mike. Well, we made it through. We're at 8 o'clock or at 9 o'clock. Are you central or you're central too? Okay. I know in Indiana that's a little different. I remember when we were out there, the time zones don't change in the winter, right? Or they do?
You don't know here in Indiana. They change and then they don't change. They're weird. They're very weird here. Some days I still look at people we're on.
Kevin was asking what other fish are where you're at, where you're fishing. Oh, you don't know? You don't care?
Well, that river's full of fish. You'll catch some drum. You'll catch some good sturgeons. I mean, yeah, it's if you want to go out and take you some worms, you catch something.
Very cool. All right, Michael, thank you for your time. It was great talking to you. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, make sure you go down to the link in the description, sub to Mike's channel. Let's get him some subscribers. Make sure you watch one of his videos at least, maybe two. If not, if you're a subscriber, keep watching his videos. Thank you to everybody in the room that was sharing the links. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central Time, called out. It's going to be with Roger from... pardon me, Roger from Muskrat Adventures versus Chad from Fishing with the Chad. It ought to be a fun day. Make your side bets. I'm not going to talk. I'm trying to be impartial. It's hard for me to pick between those two guys. So thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Tune in tomorrow morning. I look forward to seeing you. We'll see you next week, if not tomorrow morning. Have a great night.